year to go out and shoot and have fun. Alright? At one point I had over 1,000 rounds. Doesn't mean I'm a psycho? No, I'm not. I just had them, I went out, I already used them all at the range. I'm planning to get more, but money's tight because of the economy. Should we ban internet sales? No. Like I said, that's the only places that can get it that have them available. Alright? And in this economy, do you really want to shut down another type of business venue? I mean, the businesses selling the ammo are going to lose money because now all of a sudden some feel-good legislator who feels that you should not be able to buy ammo online is going to make that business lose money and is impeding on their right to live, I guess. I mean, it's their way of life. That's how they make money, to put food on their table and pay their rent and pay their taxes. So, no, I don't think it should be illegal to buy ammo online or magazines online. I could buy magazines for cheap online and have them shipped to me rather than going out to a store and paying a few extra dollars. However, I am all for supporting your local mom and pop gun store. So buy from them. Don't always go online to buy magazines, as convenient as it may be. Next, gun-free zones. The theater was a gun-free zone. To me, gun-free zones are stupid. They do not stop people from committing a crime with a gun. If you look at most gun crimes committed, robberies and stuff like that, or mass shootings, they have almost all the time been done in a gun-free zone. Alright? Let's look at Columbine. There was a federal act passed, which is the Gun-Free School Zone Act. It's a federal law, and it was passed in '94. Columbine happened in '97 or '99. Again, I'm getting my dates confused, but Columbine happened after that act was passed. Long after. Did it stop the Columbine shooters from walking to their high school and with their guns and killing everyone? Killing 13 people? No. Did the gun-free zone stop James Holmes from walking into the theater, killing 12 people and injuring 58 others? No, it didn't. Let's look at Virginia Tech. Did it stop that guy, that psycho, from walking into Virginia Tech and killing 33 students for no reason at all? No, it did not. What it did stop was law-abiding citizens who carry to protect themselves and their family from carrying into those establishments to protect themselves. That is all it stopped. Alright? What makes you think for 1 second that a psychopath, that a criminal, okay, let's define criminal, someone who breaks the law, someone who has no regard for the law. What makes you think that person is going to follow the law and not bring a gun to do harm? Alright? Do you honestly think that a madman with a gun is going to walk up, sees a sign that says no guns allowed, and says, oh shit, I'm not allowed to have guns here, I'm going to go somewhere else? Think logically. He knows no one in there legally is carrying a gun. Or there's at least a very high percentage of chance that no one in there is carrying a gun. He's going to go in there and have a field day. Alright? He's going to go in there and shoot everybody in sight, which is what James Holmes did. And what James Holmes did is he went into the theater, sat down, watched half the movie, went outside, geared up, came back in from the emergency exit, and started killing people. Which brings me to my next talking point, a CCW holder. If someone was carrying in there, do you think he would have been able to stop the madness? I think he would have. or she. People say that a firefight would ensue and more people would die. Let me tell you this, how about if it was a cop in there, an undercover cop? What if an undercover cop engaged? Would you say the same thing? Of course not, because you feel that cops have more training. Not saying that cops don't have more training, they probably do, especially for crisis situations, but also know that people that legally carry a firearm for self-defense regularly go to the range and practice. Most police departments only require that their officers qualify once a year or twice a year. A majority of self-defense carriers practice at the most, well actually let's not go at the most, at the least once a month. So you can rest assured that people that carry for self-defense are good shots. They're responsible enough to know that if they were not able to hit a human silhouette at the most 50 yards, that they would not feel comfortable carrying the gun, because they do not want to hurt innocent bystanders. Okay, they want to shoot the threat and neutralize it. If someone was carrying that day in the theater, they would have been able to save a lot more lives and a lot less people would have gotten injured. Take, for example, 45. All right, I'm not saying that the 45 is the end-all pistol caliber. It's a strong round. Yeah, he was wearing body armor. Even if the carry holder had a 9mm. Once Holmes would have taken fire, he would have shifted his priority from shooting innocent bystanders who were trying to run away to focusing all of his attention on the CCW holder who is shooting at him. Would the CCW holder die? Probably. But he would have been a hero because he would have saved that many more lives. He would have provided covering fire, if you will, to allow people to escape, and it would have been a very selfless act, and he would be commended, hopefully. If he did accidentally shoot someone who got in the way, that is a possibility. He probably would face the consequences, maybe have civil action levied against him, maybe even criminal charges levied against him for shooting an innocent bystander while he was shooting at James Holmes. Or he would have been a good enough shot where he would have gotten up and been able to shoot Holmes in the head. Or hopefully, if he would realize that Holmes was wearing body armor after putting a few rounds in the chest, that he would go then for the head. But even if Holmes was wearing the vest or not, anyone who gets shot wearing Kevlar, they're still going to feel the bullet impact. The bullet doesn't magically disappear when it hits body armor. Body armor catches it, but that force still goes through. All right? Have you ever think of it as wearing a piece of plastic on you, all right? Just like 1/4 inch thick piece of PVC or whatever. And take a bat to the chest. It's still gonna hurt. You might not have a broken rib if you did not have the PVC on you or whatever protective media, but it's still gonna hurt. Likewise with bullets. It's not gonna kill you, but it's gonna hurt like hell, especially if it's a larger caliber or a higher velocity round, such as a 45 being heavier or a 357 being faster, very fast. What if the CCW holder was carrying an FN57? FN57, if anyone is familiar with it, unfortunately was the same firearm used by the Fort Hood shooter. Basically, it has small bullets, but they are armor piercing. And when I mean armor piercing, I'm not talking about it's going to go through a steel plate. I'm talking about it defeats regular pistol body armor. But so would a .357 Magnum, but it would go through the Kevlar no problem and impact it inside of homes, thus ending the carnage, hopefully. But regardless of all that, maybe if he was shot in the arm or shot in the leg or wherever else, it would still make him think that I'm being shot. I should probably either A, run away, or B, shoot the guy who's shooting me. Which in either case would have allowed more people to escape the mayhem that was going on in that theater. So, gun-free zones really don't help any situation to make any place safer. They make a building, in fact, more vulnerable to shootings, in my opinion, and put everyone else in danger. Personally, I think that if you set up a gun-free zone in your establishment, you should be required by law to provide armed security. I think it's fair. You're not allowing people to legally defend themselves with a gun, if that is how they feel that they want to protect themselves and their family and possibly people around them. You should be responsible. In fact, if anything happens in that establishment and you don't have the means to protect your patrons, that you should be held liable for every death and every injury, because you're the one that said you're not allowed to carry a gun in my establishment. So you should be required by law to provide security, armed security, and not just say you're not allowed to have the means to defend yourself on my property. I'm all for private property rights, but I don't think that they trump the God-given right to self-defense, especially when it comes to law-abiding citizens carrying a gun for self-defense. Moving on. By the way, I'm in my basement. It was the quietest place, and it's hot as hell upstairs, so it might look sketch. It might look like I'm in some torture dungeon. I'm not. It's my basement. Other methods of killing. Let's say you banned all guns, which is what a lot of people want. A lot of anti-gunners, they would just rather guns did not exist at all. Let's say he did not have the ammo. Let's say he did not have the guns. Let's say, how would he do it? Well, one way he would be able to do it is that he would have been able to make a bomb. He could have made an IED. There are a lot of ways to make IEDs, improvised explosive devices, and it's not just a Middle Eastern, Iraqi war, Afghan war term that soldiers use. Improvised explosive device, kind of like UFO. UFO doesn't always mean aliens, it just means unidentified flying object. IED doesn't mean that a terrorist made it, it just means it's an improvised explosive device. Look at Timothy McVeigh and what they did, what he did at the Oklahoma City bombing. He took out half of a building and killed all those people, all those innocent people. Not with a gun, but with explosives that he made. Do you think for a second that James Holmes wasn't smart enough to probably do that if he didn't have access to guns? He probably would have killed more people. He could have planned it enough where he could have just locked everyone in, tossed in a gas bomb, killed everyone, or tossed in a few Molotov cocktails and killed someone, and killed more people, and burned down the entire theater. Alright? Does that mean that we have banned the purchase of gasoline, glass bottles, and handkerchiefs? Do you realize how ridiculous that sounded after I said it? All right.